Hi.
Hi.
I am with my sister. That's my sister.
That's my sister too. What a coincidence.
We're very delirious. It's very late. And we just got back from watching 2012.
What are the chances?
So we are going to
You remember that part?
We're going to do a review on it. So,
Yeah.
Jaclyn, what did you think of the movie?
I think that it was freaking awesome.
I think that there was way too many graphics and it made it so unrealistic. I mean, unrealistic?
I just invented a new word.
It made it so retarded.
And that's coming from Blonde.
We were like talking and laughing through the whole movie because, okay, get this.
At least the guy behind us was like, he thought it was funny too, so.
Okay. Now, how can somebody escape? Okay, first of all, the guy's like, I can't fly.
No, but you gotta start with the car. Go in chronological order so it's not
Okay,
too
you help me
confusing.
remember
Okay.
the movie.
So, spoiler alert. This guy, author, finds out it's going to be the end of the world by this other crazy guy when he goes camping, right? So he goes back to save his family in a limo. And they act like the thing's like a freaking four-wheel drive, like a
going all over, going over rocks and off of bridges and landing on...
And everything's crumbling behind them and they get stuck behind these old ladies. You're like, don't break the eggs, dearie.
They killed those old people.
Well, they were driving too slow.
That wasn't cool. You don't kill old people or animals
Well, they
in
didn't
movies.
show it.
But they ran into a wall and the whole thing caved in. It was bad. And if you don't want the movie ruined from us, just stop watching now. Okay? If you haven't seen it, just
We
stop
are not
watching
2012 sympathizers.
now. Okay, so they're in this limo and they're going through all this, Los Angeles is completely crashing behind them and chaos. And they're going through these buildings that are caving in on them and they go into a building and the whole building is imploding on them and they make it out on the other side.
And their window there's not even a fleck of dust on their window. I'm like, how did their window not break?
A rock did not... They lost
their door. That's the most realistic
But
thing
they lost their door because he backed up into, or he drove off too quickly. It wasn't even because of all the stuff going on around him. There was not a single rock.
If they didn't have those kids in there, like, making all the, Mommy, she's scared, like, faces, it wouldn't really be very scary, actually.
It wasn't scary even with them doing those faces.
When they were crying, you got a little...
I did know.
Near the end. Okay, so that's what happened after the limo.
We might have to cut some of this out. We only got 10 minutes.
After the limo.
So after the limo, what happened?
They got on the plane.
They got on this little plane that they had. He had to pay this guy or something to get on this little plane.
With
this
his
little
watch,
tiny
yeah.
plane. And, okay, the guy's dead by the time they got there. Okay,
The pilot.
The pilot was dead. So then the guy, the doctor, the boyfriend of the ex-wife, happens to be a pilot, but not really. He happened to take two flying lessons.
A few lessons.
Yeah.
Oh, I've only had a few lessons.
Okay, so this guy who's only had a few lessons ends up taking off on this itty-bitty strip.
Yeah.
With no room.
It's like 200 feet. It's like, you remember Pearl Harbor? And they're all freaking out because, like, we're not going to have enough. It's going to be really hard, fellas. And he's all...
And he goes, like, straight up like this. It's like, okay... You're just a nerd. Okay, and so, like, there's no room. And it's like, he happens to take off, like, a couple lessons, okay? Then, he's end up flying through all this stuff that's falling on around him, and then this whole...
Meanwhile, the whole face of California is, like, imploding in smoke and volcano...
Madness.
Golga, whatever that's called. What's that called? The lava stuff.
I almost said vulva.
She gets her words a little mixed up sometimes.
So anyways, and this big black thing of smoke engulfs them, and they still make it out on the other side. White as can be, the whole plane.
The whole plane. And the windshield's not dirty. No bugs are smashed or anything.
Yeah, it was like... Yeah, kind of crazy. So then what was the other crazy part?
Okay, so then after that, then... they got to the bigger plane. He met his boss.
Happens to be there.
6.5 billion people. Hey! Runs into his boss. Hey, boss.
Yeah, you know.
His parasites.
He's like, no, I'm not going to take you. And then the pilot goes, well, I need a co-pilot. And of course, that guy happens to be a co-pilot.
And he's like, hold on. he knows he's a pilot.
He's like, quit saying I'm a pilot.
He's like, I'm not a pilot. You really think he's going to, at that point, be like, no, I can't fly.
So anyways, they all get on the plane. And on the huge plane. And so the whole world is shifting and turning. And
so then they get in the, what was that called? Anonov 200 Strashen, or what was the name of the plane?
It was something that was carrying a bunch of imported cars.
Yeah, it was huge. It was like a fat plane.
Yeah. So anyways, they end up getting off, in China. They end up making it to China, okay? From California to China.
They were supposed to refuel in Hawaii.
And Hawaii was gone.
It was a volcano ash.
So their engines went down. They ended up, since the whole world turned, they ended up landing somewhere, and guess where?
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
China!
It's okay, only $5 more.
What? What a coincidence! They end up landing in China. So they end up meeting the guy in China who happened to have his brother building the ark that happened to get them in. The whole thing, okay, I'm not going to tell you every single bit of it, but the whole thing was very coincidental and not believable. Unbelievable. And I know it's a movie, but it seemed a lot to me like those old volcano movies, or
it was like Titanic meets
Pearl Harbor meets The Day After Tomorrow meets, and then of course
all the end of the world movies thrown into one.
And then of course the boyfriend ends up dying, of course, so all the family can live happily ever after.
And Mom and Dad get back together.
And life is
so
grand.
Good.
Yeah, pathetic, right? But I know it was a movie, and I'm sorry if I ruined it for you. If I ruined it for you,
we should have done in spoiler alerts. Can you edit this back in? Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Exit now.
Yeah. We're related.
Side back to back, back to back.
I gotta go to bed. I have work tomorrow. So anyways,
the world's gonna end. Who cares about work? Get on the ark. Donate. Donate before the end of the world. Oh, your money's gonna be under the ocean anyway.
Oh, my money's gonna be what?
Under the ocean. Remember the movie 2012? We just saw it.
Oh yeah. I'm not putting that in.
Well, you are. You always end up doing what you say you're not going to.
Okay, talk to you guys later. If you haven't watched 2012 already, wait till it comes out on video. I don't think it's worth the $10. Bye-bye.
Unless you like computer graphics.
Unless you just want to go and have fun and make fun of the whole movie like we did.
Make sure that it's like a late show and the people there don't care like the people here didn't.
And we
really
were
care.
like delirious, and my dad was falling asleep, and my sister was falling asleep, and we pretty much had the whole place to ourselves.
See that 500th building they went through?
We were just laughing the whole time, going, "What the hell?" Okay, talk to you later. Bye. Say bye, Jaclyn.
Bye.
Bye.